Wow. The power outage thing is weird. I
Just for
remember.
this.
Yes. You're dedicated to the OTC. That's for damn sure.
Yes, sir.
I do remember this was maybe in 2020 or 2002 when the whole East Coast of the United States went out. There was a huge power outage. You remember that? That was like, it was like a 2 to 3 day affair.
I think maybe I did.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it's just, you know, are they maintaining things, or, you know, or are they just, I don't know. When you're looking at British Columbia, you know, they probably spend most of their time doing land acknowledgements and stuff like that. They don't have time to maintain the power grid, but, you know, and obviously worrying about, you know, sacred spirits and stuff like that. So
Well, you gotta you gotta have precautions, and you gotta prioritize. And this is the word I'm thinking
well,
of, right?
I see what their priorities are. You know, like on their Twitter account, it was Pride Month was their tweets, and then all the power went out. So I don't know.
There were parties going on, man. There was a party suck. Call it party suck. Energy
Listen.
suck. Energy suck.
What are you talking? What are you saying about suck?
I don't know.
I don't know. You get pride on the brain, and this is what you're saying.
Someone was drawing power. All right. That's what I'm saying. Somebody was drawing power. Oh man. Well, listen, we have a mystery guest. We may actually have a second guest coming on. So, guys, this is just going to be a big free-for-all today. And when I say, hey, if you're a trader, if you want to share due diligence and you want to hop on and share with the community, the BFC community and the OTC community, you're always welcome to. And that our next guest is taking advantage of that. He's a longtime OTC trader and investor, and the guy does a lot of due diligence. And he's going to talk about a pick that he has high conviction on. And so I'm talking about Nikolai54. So if you're on Twitter and you haven't followed Nikolai54, make sure you do it. And same name, Nikolai54 on YouTube as well. He just recently put out a really kick-ass overview of ticker AAGC. All right. And we're talking about Hollywood star cuts. So let's bring him in. Nikolai54, welcome to the BFC. How you doing?
Hey, boys. How we doing?
Let me just say, first of all, like this guy's just tweeting and looking like this. He should be taking over the show.
Yeah, 100%. The head of hair like that, my gosh.
What the hell? What do you do? Get on camera, bro.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, appreciate it, boys. Yeah. I'm actually in sunny California. I'm at a resort right now. I'm doing a little vacay this week, and just so happen to be I'm up here right now, and it's about 98 degrees outside, and I'm just kind of enjoying life a little bit.
Awesome. That's amazing. So you are big on AAGC. It's one that we've covered, you know, on and off for like the last year, but you know, your last video that you did on YouTube was excellent, by the way. I love how you break it down. So I'm just going to turn the mic over to you and, you know, just give us an overview and why the high conviction.
Yeah, hey man. First, thanks. Love the show. You know, I watch it. Appreciate you guys having me on here to chit chat. I mean, AAGC. Why do I like it? You know, it's an amazing story. You know, I've been involved, you know, with this ticker for a while, a couple of years actually. You know, it was 2 years ago that they essentially started from scratch. This ticker, you know, was a shell. They acquired it. They got into this thing with a hair salon business and opened up some flagship salons, right? And that's kind of where it all started. You know, a lot of these OTCs, they always have aspirations of doing something, and you know, you see some sort of business move into a shell, and you're like, okay, what's this going to do? And you know, they started to expand, right? They started to, you know, acquire some existing operations along the way. So then you're thinking, wow, okay, so what's the deal here? What's the hook on this ticker? You know, and they just continue to grow their footprint. And, you know, quarter after quarter, we started to see more and more revenues coming in. And I really started to take a real notice because I wasn't seeing some of the, you know, same old stuff from some of these OTCs. You know, I really dug in. You talk about due diligence. Yeah. I mean, I dug in. I was getting all the filings, started getting into it, you know, and understanding the company disclosures and really looking for that red flag. And I got to be honest, man, I just didn't find it. And the share structure stayed the same, right? We, as OTC, we got to keep an eye on that. No debt. So I was like, this is really interesting. No convertibles. Yeah, I started really getting into it. I got to be honest, and as time has gone on, they've grown to over 20 operating locations at this point. And as of the annual, you'll see if you go to OTC markets to look at the ticker, what are we showing? Over $9 million in annual revenue now. That's what caught my attention, not the stock price, but the business itself.
Well, I want to ask you, like, as a trader, I'm going to ask you some questions just to pick your brain a little bit today. When searching for stocks, do you look for the winners, or do you look for how to avoid disasters, if that makes sense? Do you look for the landmine? I mean, you got to comb through these things very in a fine fashion. What's your, I mean, when you go on your due diligence adventure, like let's say how you stumbled upon AAGC, for example.
Yep.
Were you looking for the one thing that was like, oh, here's the convertible. Oh, here's the thing from 3 years ago that's still lingering. Explain that, how you fell upon that.
Yeah, you bet. So, first thing I do immediately, right? I see a ticker. I see maybe somebody's tweeted something. Maybe somebody's excited about something. First thing I do, guys, is go right to OTC. I go to OTC markets. I do a deep dive right into the disclosures, first and foremost. And I'm looking for, convertible notes. And I start adding them up. And then I look at the, financials. And is it a real operating business? So, first and foremost, I'm going after those convertibles, and I want to see what the debt looks like. Accumulated deficit, I'll take it, because that can be an offset to profit later, right? So I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is what's potential for me to get diluted on in the market with a bunch of shares just sitting out there, right? And that's very first and foremost. Now, if it passed that smell test for me, then I'm gonna dig into it. Now, listen, it can have a little bit of convertible, because if we have a real business, we can offset that with some profitability, right? And they can get rid of, distinguish, buyout, whatever. But if it's got too much and it's laden and I'm going to see billions added to the OS, man, I'm not interested. Good question.
Yeah. So
it's interesting. Go ahead, sir. It's interesting you say that, because, I think a lot of people wrongly say, well, if there's any dilution at all, it's no good, right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, companies still need to fund their operations.
Yep.
And, the other part that they forget sometimes is if there are no shares to sell, you're probably never going to hear from the company at all. You know what I mean? Like, so it really does grease the wheels in some ways. So, I'm glad to hear you say it. Like, there's obviously levels to it.
Yes. There's 100% levels, right? I mean, there has if there's some on the books, and we know the operation is trying to scale now, or they've raised some capital because of XYZ. I'm all about it. I'm all ears. Like, let's go. Like, what does that look like? And they're going to throw their forward projections out if we can get them, and then we can make a reasonable assessment. Okay, this is going to offset this, no problem. And now we can see ourselves in a position where we're going to see a run. So, you've got to do your research. Finding something without debt, good luck. Right. You've got to have a little bit of wherewithal to know you're going to have some on the books. It's just, what is the company doing to offset it, right?
I agree 100%. And, and these are the things, like, I just really got into the OTC about 5 to 6 years ago. And it's about separating your optimism and hopium with reality. You got to separate those two things. And, I've learned to ask myself, what evidence exists today? All right. Because the truth is, hope isn't due diligence. It's not. I want filings, contracts, customers, facilities, products, just measurable progress. And that, I mean, honestly, AAGC checks all the boxes when I'm talking about that one. So, so your point on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at the revenue that they're reporting. Just go to the disclosures, right? 9 million this annual, right? Growing without toxic convertibles, but they're not in there, right? You see that box on there that says convertible debt, and there's like nothing. Like, and then you're going down to the next page and you're like, there's got to be some in here somewhere, right? And it's like, no, there's not. Oh my God, this is crazy. Okay, so now we've got that, and then there's no debt either, right, on the books. Look at the repurchases. So on top of a company that has no debt, there you go. Beautiful,
and that's
beautiful, straight
from AAGC.
Beautiful, right? I want to see all that blank, right, or very minimal if I can. That's what I'm looking for. But, and on top of that, we're looking at, is there a potential for a company to do share repurchases? right? And here we are, quarter after quarter. We've seen it. It's in the disclosures. They've got share repurchases. And why would they be doing that, right? That's an interesting question. They've been profitable. That's why, because they've been able to take some profit and they've been buying back their shares. An amazing story in that, all on its own. If you look at nothing else, that's exciting while they've been expanding the operation, right? And, the big one that they've been kind of talking about a little bit on Twitter lately is their PCAOB audit.
Yes.
And we can see all the money spent on that right in the disclosures, right? It all ties back. So, you just got to kind of piece the story together. And right now, if you start piecing the story together, we got something beautiful happening here with this company.
Hey, I want to follow up with something because you and I we had a pre-show conference earlier. Explain to the audience how many for the PCAOB audits, how many TRIP stocks, how many low dub stocks have actually got this done recently?
Recently, I can't find anything recent. If you look at the last 5 years, there's been 5. And go out and do your research, right? Trips or low dub OTCs, they don't do it. They don't get it done. It's too expensive. It's too hard. There's too much skeletons in the closet. But the ones that do, unfortunately, we've had a couple that have reverse splitted right afterwards. And as soon as they get the audit done, they go after toxic financing almost immediately to fund the operations and things of that nature. So an unfortunate situation is we really haven't seen them actually get done in a real way with a real business opportunity.
Absolutely awesome. And I will say, we mentioned the buyback, and Kiko, hop in here anytime. And I will just say, with the buyback, everybody thinks that there's some companies that buy back in huge chunks or whatever. But what I like is the slow and steady wins the race. Build the business. You don't have to throw a bunch of money at marketing and IR when you're building the actual business. And you want to funnel that cash and profit, that net income, right back into the business. So it's really nice to see. I'd rather see consistent buyback over 2 years' time, saying, oh, we bought back some, we bought back some more, we bought back some more. To me, that is long-term commitment from the management team. So when you see them getting the audit done, when you see them doing a consistent buyback, you can't help but say, all right, this is a sure bet. And they are very comfortable with where they are leading this company. You're talking about a stock that's TRIP 5 right now that has all the ingredients to, and I'm going to use AMFN. I'm going to talk about that one in a little bit, but do you know how many shares are outstanding right now on AAGC? I could
2 billion.
Okay, so let me just I'm going to put this in perspective for everybody watching, and then I'm just going to turn it over to you guys. So you have AMFN, right? Here it is, 2 billion authorized shares, 1.6 billion outstanding and held at DTC. Okay, you have 1 billion. This is what can happen in the OTC. Now, I'm not saying the stock is going to run to 19 or 20 cents. Not saying that. I'm saying that when the stars align, this can happen. This is why you will not find this. And Kiko, you and I were talking about this the last show. You will not find this anywhere else. You're not going to find a sustained run like this in the meme coin world. It's not going to happen. You're not going to find these gains like this on the NASDAQ. This is the beautiful thing about the OTC. And you're talking about something that went from dub 1 to today it was at 19 cents, I believe. So, and I don't want to just hammer that and say it's going to be exactly what AMFN is. I'm just saying that when you back it up with fundamentals and operational capacity, that makes it even stronger of a case for it to run. Yes, I know some of you are like, oh, it's haircuts. Hey, guys, it doesn't matter. Is it an operational business? Is it profitable? Are they loaded in debt? What is the story behind the stock? And so, and I'm going to talk a little bit later about investing in a stock versus investing in a company, because you can invest in a stock versus investing in a company or vice versa, depending if you want to play a chart or a company. So based on everything that I just laid out right there and everything you're talking about, I am bullish as whatever on AAGC. And I know many of you have been on this one for a long time. So you guys have at it. That was my little bit.
Yeah, I guess I'll jump in. I mean, if you look at this, OTCs, investors, they chase the newest trend, right? We look at AI, we look at crypto, mining, EVs, whatever it is, right? Those are all the buzzwords out there. We look at hair salons. Are they glamorous? No, but they represent a real operating business, you know, and they're attempting to scale right now, right? Sometimes boring businesses can create long-term value. Execution is a key to that. And I think right now that's where we are. And I think that's what's happening here with AAGC. You talked about AMFN. Yeah, massive run, right? You know, and we're right in that sweet spot. What's our OS, right? 2 billion. You know, we're right there in that sweet spot where, you know, we could certainly see a massive movement as, you know, folks get wind of this, see the opportunities, see what's going on, what they've been doing and where they're headed.
Right on. I will ask you. Here, go ahead, Kiko. If you want to jump in, that'd be great.
You know, the only thing that you know I think about this one is it kind of touches on what you said, where people are like, oh, it's just haircuts or whatever. You know what? And the thing is that you could say, oh, it's just haircuts until all of a sudden they catch on. You know what I mean? And you know, the OTC, unfortunately for people, like they want everything to be robots and AI data chips and everything like that. But that's not what this market is or ever has been, you know? And so seeing people kind of rally around more pedestrian type of businesses really is the way forward for this, you know, and you know, hair's always growing. And no matter what the market's doing, you know, that business exists. So, you know, sometimes it takes a while for them to come around, but then all of a sudden they come around and they really come around, you know? So, it's just like, I know what they're initially going, haircuts, come on, but like it's making money, you know, for real.
You guys married?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Your wives ever get a haircut?
Yep.
Yeah. You know what they charge for that shit?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's an interesting concept because, you know, think about it, right? I go get, you talk about my hair, right? That's funny. But,
yeah,
you know, I go to the barber, I go get my hair cut every 5-6 weeks, right? You guys probably do the same. And everybody that's on this thing here today listening probably does the same. This is a concept that's just not going away. And do you guys know how big the salon industry is in the U.S. alone a year? $60 billion.
I don't. It's probably
60 billion.
60 billion. Again, go look it up. $60 billion, guys. And that's the what we're talking about here. So, is there a chance that we have a really cool, marketable brand, right? Hollywood Star Cuts, right? It's fun, it's new, it's a little bit innovative. Where you're the star of the show, you know, thinking about the whole concept. And you see what we've seen for the pictures and, you know, the stuff that's been posted over the years on the concept itself. Man, I could really see one of these in my neighborhood, right? I could really see
100%.
one of these right down the road at the grocery store, right? And I think it's just a massive, great opportunity for a $60 billion industry for us to take just a small sliver of that over time. And is that possible, right? That's what I think about.
Stephen Brown says, I'm bald. Can someone explain to me what you're talking about?
You can still be the star of the show, Stephen.
The star of the show.
You could still be the star of the show. You ever heard of back hair?
I got my buzz cut going on.
Oh, that's
lots
great.
of hair out there.
I love it.
That's it. You know what? And honestly, people, when they find a place they like, they do. Like I have my barber I go to religiously, you know, and it's a place out where I work. What did I do during summer? Well, as a teacher, I'm not going out that way. So I just buzz my hair because I refuse to get a bad haircut, you know, and they work wonders on me. I'm surprised they're able to get me. Man, I'm looking like you, Nikolai, when I walk out of that place. At least I feel like I do. I don't know. This is the new BFC man crush. It's Nikolai 5'4" and his great head of hair. No wonder
Nikolai's gonna take over. You got to get this guy out of here, man.
I think that he wants to I think he wants to be the model for a Hollywood Star Cuts.
Nah, that's great. Yeah.
They should hire him for real.
Yeah, they don't want this
for real,
man. That's awesome.
It's great. It's great stuff. As an investor, because I just want to pick your mind as a trader a little bit. What's the hardest lesson the OTC has taught you investing in this platform?
Oh, don't marry a stock, right? That's the biggest message for me. I mean, you can't do it. You know, you get pulled into some of these. because, you know, maybe you didn't do the right due diligence in the beginning and didn't understand what you were getting into. So I've really scaled down. There was a point in time, look, I've been in the OTC about 15 years, heavily trading for probably 10 to 12 of those. I was here during the 21, you know, extravaganza, we'll call it. And, you know, I had probably at one point 60 tickers, 60, no joke. And then, you know, you maintain 40 of those and you lose track of some. And then, you know what I mean? So more isn't always the way to go. Now less is way more for me. Now I'm in about 10, you know, that I'm interested in, and I'm waiting. I'm at different levels of my conviction, right? I'm waiting on some things to happen, as we all are, on some things to verify, validate, and, you know, trust. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at today, man. I definitely don't hold too many of these tickers.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm holding some 2021 bags. Some of them I you know, crazily, you know, I'm still averaging down, and, you know, I say my hosannas every night, you know, in hopes that they come out of expert market. But no, but one thing I've learned, and going back right to what you said earlier, you know, my standards have changed over the last 5 years by a big shot. Just what I'm looking for. What am I looking for in regards to the structure of the share structure, the structure of the company? Are they operational? There's so many different layers and factors. Who is going to own the ticker? Who is in charge of these things? What debt lenders there are? Because we know there are debt lenders and toxic lenders that the minute you see their name on a filing, you're like, nope, not doing it. Or you see one that says, all right, they ease up on it, they're a long-term investor. That's crazy. I mean, so what about you, Kiko? I mean, like, what have you learned, you know, in the OTC? Have you learned anything in the OTC?
You know, I learned that, you know, it really is always changing, you know, and we're, you know, you got to be able to change with it. You know what I mean? And, you know, we went through a period where, you know, it was all trips all the time. And now people are coming around to the new liquidity reality of what it's going to be. And they're going for thinner type of setups, which is great. You know, but I've learned, I guess, that, you know, a good setup is just not enough, you know, and I think we all make the mistake of being like, hey, this is a great share structure. Yeah, there's nothing going on, but it's a good share structure. And, you know, we could run it up if we wanted. But the thing that, you know, to always remember is that the majority of people are looking for a thesis, you know, and they want a thesis. They want a why when it comes to something. And if they don't have that, it's just kind of a race to get out between people. So, you know, the biggest lesson for me, and, you know, is there needs to be a reason why someone would buy it, because the majority of people don't trade on, you know, the DTC and the setup and everything like that. They trade on the thesis and the business. And so that's helped me a lot over the years. Just stay away from stuff that's just kind of an insta trap, I guess.
Very well said. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. I want to thank you for taking the time to come on and just like sharing your passion for the stock. You know, I think for me, like, I like the story. Do I play a chart every now and then? Yeah. At this stage in my life, I like the story that lines up with the chart, and especially where we're at. There's a lot of these stocks that have just been, the tar's been beaten out of them. And so for me, I look at the charts that have pulled back, where the nice consolidation has gone, and where there aren't any convertibles. Are there active businesses involved? How does the management treat the stocks? Are there debt lenders? All those factors that we talked about earlier, all the things that, you know, you could check the box with AAGC, boom, 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 and they're hitting all the marks. So I don't know. I want to thank you for taking the time, because I please come back on so that way you could give us an update, and hopefully we can have the management team on soon, because they're really crushing it. They are.
Yeah, I think that's a good call out. I think maybe reaching out to the CEO would probably be a good idea, you know, to make things happen. Again, I'm not here because it's a lot ticket. I'm here because I believe the market's just underestimating the company, right? As it's building this real operating business. We get that future audit they're in the middle of. They talked a lot about it, and the financials confirm what they've been doing. Investors are going to ultimately decide what the valuation reflects, but that's the thesis I'm following. I think this thing's going to have some sunny days ahead. So I appreciate you guys having me on, man. I do. Good show. Great show.
Well, it's great to have you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Let's have you back on in a couple of weeks just as things progress. And ladies and gentlemen, we have, Kiko's man crush, Nikolai 5'4", future
ladies
model.
Especially, right?
Future model for Hollywood Star Cuts.
Appreciate you, boys.
Have a great night. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
I love seeing that because you know what? That's a prime example of a good trader and investor. Somebody who does their due diligence, somebody that knows the ins, and that guy has experience. I mean,
yes, a lot of experience, 15 years.
Wow.
It's nice to put a face to some of these folks. You know what I mean? Like it's just nice to see the real people and see what they're talking about. Cause sometimes just in the world of tweets, you forget that, that there's people behind them. And so it's actually really nice to see. I love it.
Unless they're meme coins, and they're just bots. Or
those are
bots or Nigerian. It's one of the
Nigerians. They're not real.
They're not. Well,
the bots aren't real. Nigerians are real. I understand.
They are real.
That's what I'm hearing. So,
was that you? Was that you ringing?
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, I want to. Somebody mentioned in the chat AMFN. All right.
Yes.
So we did talk a little bit about that. Thoughts. So I just want to just recap, and I'll just let you touch on this one too. But like I said before, the share structure, beautiful. The market cap is 270 million. These are a lot of the things that we were saying that AAGC is very similar to this one in regards to share structure. But look at this. It's an absolute beauty. I don't know where it closed today. It was 19 at one point.
Let me check it out.
If you want to check it out. But
chart wise, another strong daily candle today and testing kind of that mid 19 resistance right now. And, if you're going to break through that, you better look out because they don't stop and they're building an audience and a group of believers that, we haven't seen this type of passion really since MMTLP. And that's not a cautionary thing, like to say that, like, because this is legit and everything's good and it's not some weird spin-off like MMTLP was. But it's just to say that you're seeing people on this who you've never seen before and who are excited about it, who you've never seen before. And when you have that, where you're drawing an audience that is totally, not from the usual suspects in the OTC, you run into something pretty special. And so, I wouldn't count this out at all. And you break that kind of mid-19 zone. It's just blue skies all day long.
All day long. And, it's these little psychological points, like getting through the 20-cent mark, getting up in the twos. You know what I mean? Let it have a nice consolidation zone up there. They did just put a PR out today. They announced the appointment of Dr. Noah D'Amico. I think that's how you say that. He's a strategic advisor. This guy is a recent PhD in physics from Texas Tech University, whose research focused on advanced nuclear detection systems, radiation sensing, and next-generation nuclear technologies. He's just a little bit smart, right? He brings experience in AI-assisted diagnostics, neutron detection, vacuum systems, and experimental nuclear instrumentation, all of which are directly applicable to American Fusion's Texatron fusion and engine program. Timing is also noteworthy because the company says it's expecting to begin its initial testing activities in Texas Tech University this week. So they're just waiting on the lab scheduling and operational readiness. So this announcement isn't just about adding scientific credibility here. It's about bringing in specialized expertise as the company transitions from development into testing phase. So you want to keep this one on your radar. I love what this one has done. I think this is it's a testament to what the OTC could do. Seriously.
Yeah, big time. It's just it's bringing in a new audience that now have some jingle in their jeans and are looking at other OTCs and running them up. You know, we see this today on ONAR. We saw that last week on Biodaptives. And this injection of new money and new passion is just so good for the OTC, because these people are coming in and doing it, maybe, and people that we've not seen before. So it's awesome.
So let's lead by example, and let's open the door and welcome them. It's like that one meme, where you open the door and like everything's on fire, and then they just shut the door.
Right.
But hopefully, them walking into this, they're walking into a better situation, because many of us that have been here we're prepared to give them solid due diligence. I want to keep, and I know you do this on your platform. I do this on mine, where I don't just say DD from the source because I like saying it. I want to get the due diligence not only just from the filings and the X and the stocky twitties and all that stuff. I want to get the management teams on the show and be able to ask them firsthand, so they could connect one-on-one with the shareholders regularly. It's important.
Yeah. I'd love to hear from those guys at some point. But that's what it's all about. And hopefully, we're seeing a lot of situations where this is such a great time for new people to come into the OTC, because a lot of these tickers have gone through reverse splits. They've sprayed the sidewalks off of a lot of old COVID bags. The resistances are gone. You saw that on Biodaptives. You've seen that on so many others, where you have setups that are just primed to go, and they just need a spark. And this AMFN is providing the spark, so it's just super, super bullish. It's awesome.
So if you're first, welcome to the OTC. They all run like AMFN, just to let you guys know. So just pick a ticker, any ticker. No, I'm just kidding.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail. Man, can you tell me? So somebody says, that's it. He's done. That's it.
Jail.
All right, I want to talk about our show sponsor. This week's show is sponsored in part by Speed Trader. If you're an active trader like me, not every brokerage gives you access to the same opportunities. One thing I really like about Speed Trader is that it allows you to trade many OTC stocks, including caveat emptor and expert market securities that many traditional brokerages simply do not offer. And when you actually need help, a real person answers the phone. Their customer service has always been outstanding, and that's something that's hard to find these days. So if you're looking for a broker built with active traders in mind, check out Speed Trader. So it's like, welcome to the OTC. So if you really want to get really crazy and trade some EM and expert market, come on this way. I'll show you.
It's great that someone's offering that now.
Yeah, right.
Because there was a little bit of a period of time there where, people in the expert market were getting such an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
And I think it's great it's being offered, and it should be offered, and other brokers shouldn't be the gatekeepers. They're not regulators. They don't have the right. If they're calling it an expert market and they're making it available to some, it should be available to all. So I'm glad someone's doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You've been on the show a bunch of times, from the first time when you were on doing the crypto thing. Let's take a seat. Yeah. Remember those days? Those are the good old days, right? The good old days? I don't know. Those were the days, man. But
bittersweet,
I could call it that. But you know what you've never done? You've never done a fire round. So I want to know, do you think you can handle yourself?
Yeah, and just a quick question from Drew Brock there. He's asking if you can get expert market tickers as an American on speed trading.
Yes. And that's why I'm doing it. I'm actually, I'm doubling down on my iList position. I've been clear about that because I never thought I'd be able to buy it as cheap it is. Some of you guys think I'm nuts for doing so, but that's it's something that I've covered. I'm putting my money where my mouth is just to say, hey, I'm not one of the people that runs and hides. I'm actually going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to buy more of it. And because if and when it does come out, and they do come out of EM, just like CYBL came out of caveat emptor and ran up to almost 2 cents, a lot of people took advantage of that, and a lot of people made money. So take advantage of it if you want to. This is not financial advice.
Yeah.
So my question to you, do you think you can handle a fire round? 10 questions, 2 minutes.
I don't know. Let's try it.
Let's find out. Okay, so you have to answer these 10 questions.
Okay.
In 2 minutes. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go. Oh, damn it. I'll give you 3-second credit. What's your favorite greeting when jacking in? Great to see you here. You wake up tomorrow and every OTC ticker is current except one. Which company gets left behind?
Phil.
Ooh. You've got $10,000. You must either buy one stock, OTC stock, or leave it in cash. Which do you choose?
I buy an OTC stock.
If you could instantly know one thing before buying any OTC stock, what would it be?
Do they plan to dilute?
You're stranded on a desert island with one OTC CEO. Who are you picking and why?
I'm picking oh God.
I know.
That's a great question. Maybe Brett. He is funny. He is funny.
Yes. One OTC phrase you never want to hear again.
Thank me later.
Which is harder to explain to your spouse? Expert market or your most recent Temu purchase?
My most recent Temu purchase, for sure.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes.
Get off the show. If OTC had an Olympics, what event would you win?
Whining.
And lastly, finish the sentence. The OTC would be a better place if
brokers quit acting like regulators and let people trade things. You're not regulators.
And there it is. With 3 seconds to spare it and even a late start. Kiko Stocks. You nailed it, man.
I like pineapple on the pizza. I don't care. It's a Canadian invention too, which is why, it's pretty sad, but it is.
That doesn't shock me, to be honest with you. I mean, like, I'm not a pineapple guy on pizza, but you know what? I have actually had a pizza here and there where it's been on, and I've been like, all right, I'll do it.
I mean, they're putting stinky fish on pizza, okay? And you're mad about pineapple? They're putting they're grinding up smelly ass fish and putting it on pizza, and pineapple's the issue? Okay, yes. I say the rotten ass fish that no one would eat, they put it on a pizza, and everyone's up in arms about pineapple. Why do you argue about rotten ass fish?
Nikolai's backstage, and he's like, he just signed off too. He's like, you know what? I'm an anchovy guy. You son of a gun.
Well, guess what? I'm a pineapple guy, and you take your fish and swim off. Bum.
Oh man, this has been great. So you did it, dude. A lot of people. Well, okay. Out of all those questions, which one was the hardest, do you think?
The OTC CEO one.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to maybe think of like a female one or something, but then I was like, oh my God, like if I don't want to be weird, and then and then I was like, probably, but Brett is very funny. Like he is a funny guy. Like he's going through some shit, and I don't think I've enjoyed being in anything he's been involved in, but boy, he is funny.
Yeah. I mean, you probably would have a great time.
It'd be good for, at least you could have some shtick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Is there any stocks you want to talk about? If there is, just Like you could
Yeah,
share
well, there's
screen
a
and
few things going on. Like there's a
and
few
roll.
things going on out there with in the market. I'll talk about some of the interesting stuff I saw today. I'll shoot through them. Let me share my screen here. Shit. Window. Yes.
There you are.
There we go.
All right. Take it
All
away.
right. So yeah, a couple things on the go that I thought were pretty interesting today. First of all, Water Pure had a little bounce today. Well, it basically opened at this price, and they have news out about how they have gone to do some work with NASA, which I thought was pretty crazy. So they're doing stuff with NASA right now. It's a research license agreement to evaluate their water filtration technologies, and the setups it's pretty decent. It's not crazy thin, but it's pretty decent. And if this NASA story can get some legs, it would be pretty darn nice. And hopefully, it's the beginning of more talk with regard to their NASA partnership. And I think one of the great things about this was it's coming off of their leadership transition. So they had the executive leaders changed out at the end of July, and now they're following up with the NASA news, and hopefully there's more to come there. So certainly one to watch. Chart wise, it's up there a bit right now for sure. But to see them come back for it at the end of the day is interesting. And then, resistance wise, you're pretty much in the clear here. After kind of the 5-ish. So, the challenge would be is if it could really stay above dub 5 and maintain the interest, which I think will be very, very interesting. Obviously, ONAR was a huge move today. It's something that I've been talking about for a while to get a bounce, and finally just got a rip and bounce today. They announced that they're looking to acquire a marketing firm, and I think on paper the marketing firm maybe wasn't terribly exciting, but what it was a sign, that these good setups that are so low are things that people are ready to dive into. They're not going back to the same old shit over and over again. And so this 8K came out Friday. I think it was after hours, or maybe just in the final hours. And obviously I was traveling, which was a bummer. But this could absolutely it's a sign of what people are willing to do, which brings me to one, I think that it got a bit of volume today, which is this BMAX. And this is sitting in trips on 124 million DTC, and got a big shot of volume today. No catalyst necessarily just yet, but the best volume it's had basically since it got sold off at the start of July. And if that seller's all the way tapped out, there's just a ton of room for a bounce here. So at this point, it's more of a technical bounce. But with that being said, certainly something to watch in the coming days. This iHigh Innovative Holdings Alliance is something that I've been talking about for a few days now. And they have just a load of patents in the EV space that they are going to begin looking to enforce. And so another good shot of volume today, and you can see that there's clearly some loading going on here and holding. So there's DD floating around on X, and if you check their information, you'll find that there's a lot there. Interestingly, change of control today on IVHI. 4.2 million DTC. Someone bought the shell from the old owner for almost $300,000, which is a serious transaction, and it could be a sign that there could be something good to come. And setup wise, I mean, 4.2 million DTC down here, new CEO holding the shell. Who knows what he's going to roll in? Certainly something to keep an eye on. I think you got to watch it. You got to watch it. And then offbeat pick. This will be the last one. I could go for hours, but offbeat pick, UJIS, it's called. I think that's how they're saying it. Yeah, I don't know, but like, and I wasn't even reading it that way to be funny. That's just how I read it. And I was just saying it in my head that way, and then realized like it's kind of horrifying. But UJIS, down here in trips, people are hitting it. But the interesting thing about this UJIS is this AS at 500 million post split, and you really wonder. I don't think they ever intended it to be down all the way down here, and split happened in November of 25. So and no relief since. So if they start getting active here, I'd look out, and maybe a lotto down in trips isn't the worst idea right now. So that's kind of some stuff to keep an eye on for sure.
That's my cup of tea right there. I know that's yeah. I love those. You know me, I love those ones because you never know. You never know. One that I'll talk about. I'm gonna go over the chart in a second. But is Hollywall.
Yes.
Hollywall. I gotta kick you out first. Oh gosh. So Hollywall, the one thing that stands out is that even when that we ran up to the teens, 20, whatever it is, 24 at one point. This has been a great BFC pick. There's been times to swing this thing once a year, twice a year. You could swing this thing, all with high volume too. But the share structure hasn't changed. They are not diluting into these runs. And right now, let's ignore that chart. I'm going to pull up the new one. But listen, they have a $500,000 asset value, or $500 million asset value independently evaluated, and they're going to be doing a dividend. All right. So October 30th is the deadline to get in here. Right now, the consolidated financials, it suggests that it should be $3.24 a share. Like I said, that's not including any revenues. That's not including a monetization of that catalog that they have. And by the way, we are going to be doing a spaces tomorrow with the company. They're going to do an investor call, so I'm going to be live with that, guys. If you're watching this one, if you're investing in this one, if this is on your watch list, show up to this thing so that way we could get inside their head and just pick their brain a little bit. But I did talk to Roxy. She was actually going to pop on the show, but she had to hop off. She had to go to a different call. But I will tell you, I think this could be absolutely huge. Back in the heyday, this thing ran to $20 on low volume with nothing in this company. So I'm not just going to keep, just hammering it. Why I'm going to keep hammering this one? I just want to keep pounding the table on this one. And I will say, let me just do this real quick, just on the stock right now. And I had this area marked. Let's see. Okay, this is where I'm at. I love this area here where it was consolidating. I was hoping to see it up. I would have loved to see a nice cup and handle form there, but it did not happen. But the gap filled. Remember, my concern was the gap filled. Now I am holding this one long, but when it was up at 18 cents on this, I started to take some profit just to buy back in on those dips because I'm long on this one. But I wish I would have just liquidated just so I could get back in here because there were some asks available. People were putting up. Look, we're rating that. Maybe this will be one big ass giant cup and handle. I don't know. What do you think, man? That would be
kind of putting cool. It together.
It is. And so right now we're in that zone. If we see a nice dip, I mean, this thing could go to the freaking moon and back. Well, no, to the moon. We don't come back. We don't ever come back, right? We just go straight up. But this is one that I think is just setting up to be a freaking beauty. And they're starting to become more active. And like I said, sort of like the AAGC thing, like the books don't lie. Like there's one convertible on the books, but they're not converting anymore. The convertible's done. It's done. Like this is clean. They're not diluting this anymore. So if family offices, if some investment bankers come in and really believe in the long term, potential here, then there you go. You know what I mean? Like that one could go through the moon, man. I love that. I don't like
Yeah.
saying that, but like that's my like. Let's freak out about it. I like that one a lot. Right now I have about 12,000 invested in that, just so that way I could say I'm being clear, and I plan on buying more of anywhere in this zone. If you see it in the 11 to 14 range, I'm just gonna gobble up more shares. My average is 852 or 854. So I've played this one nicely. DRCR is another one that is a nice low float. Everybody is upset with the company, of course, because of the fact that they took Swifty Global out, and they're saying that you're going to get a portion of whatever it is they IPO, but they brought a new company, Matrix Fuels, in. But hopefully the share structure stays intact with what they decide to do. I will say, if they don't dilute, this could be an absolute banger. Right now, this is consolidated. If you just zoom out and look back at where this thing is, this is just in a long consolidation in the penny range. This is one of those ones like, all right, you talked about, I asked you the question of like, would you put 10 grand in a stock or would you just keep cash? I'm loading 10 grand into this. I want to get as close to 1 million shares of this as possible, because this one, and I called it at a 354 about a year and a half or two ago, and that twice it ran from that mark, and it went up to like 20, 30 cents. You do that on a low float like this, and you are able to liquidate on a high volume day, you are going to be freaking happy as hell. So that's another one that I'm looking at. And you know what, guys, look, we're not here saying, oh my God, this is going, you got to get in. Well, no, we're looking at a lot of these plays. A couple, was it UGIZ? UGIZ. All right.
UGIZ, yes.
UGIZ. We're looking at that one. See, I had it last week. You did it this week.
Yeah, it's on me this time.
This one's on you. Yeah, this one's on you. But look at these ones that are beat up, that they have things cooking, that have movement happening in regards to who owns the ticker, companies that they're bringing in, announcements that they're making. If they're starting to get loud, chances are there's going to be an influx of volume, and you just need right people. Wait, hang on. Koshocked. That, I think that's how you say his name. I never know. Koshocked. Yeah. That dividend for the preferred share is huge. And OTC that returns cash, have they paid out before? Now, could you pull it up on your side? I think
with regard to have OTCs paid out before, certainly.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, they certainly have. And I think that they would be taking an incredible risk to not to say it and then not do it. So, an incredible legal risk.
They announced it, but they didn't give a specific date. They said that this is what they plan on doing. I'm looking at the old, see if they, I'm just looking right on the ex-dividend, 2017, 2018. All right. We received one warrant. So they did warrants back in the day. But yeah, no splits. All right. At least I don't think so. Oh no, they did a forward in 2010. Their last reverse was 1401, and that was 2017. I will tell you right now, this one looks great. I love that one. Because they've treated that share structure after that reverse, it's pristine. There's no dilution.
Yeah, they've been pretty good about it. They haven't just sent it to zero like some of these guys.
Yeah, and you see it all the time.
Yeah.
You know what? I wanted to share with you a couple things. Get your take on this. Sort of something to close with. Oh, an AFFU. That's another low floater that they're renegotiating their debt.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to hearing that announcement when he comes through with it, because it's still, it's still shockingly low down here on a post-split basis, and with regard to share structure, and DTC, there's a little bit added here and there, but once they get that debt restructure, you could see that maybe get wrapped up, and love to see them do something on the authorized shares as well, which I'm sure they will. So there could be a lot to look forward to there for sure.
Oh, 100%. And guys, if you missed our interview last week, check out these clips.
Getting in and doing what I do, and it's natural for me. But the fact that I'm able to help people to achieve their goals while I'm achieving mine is bigger than the money itself. And I want to be able to, at the end of my life, I want to be able to say I've helped somebody, and I want to be able to say that the people that cross my path their life is different because I crossed their path, and that's the only thing that's my legacy. I want to be able to change the people's lives that I cross paths with. I have a friend of mine named Rodney Edge, and Rodney Edge told me something one time, and he said, "Mark, you and I are the real AI." And doesn't stand for artificial intelligence. We're atmosphere influencers. Atmosphere influencers. Oh, wow. And so we want to be able to influence the atmosphere. That's what we want to be able to do, and we can change. And we believe we can do it. When I looked about the public markets, and when I looked at those things, it just allowed me to be able to utilize my past experience, my past failures, because you learn nothing from your wins. You learn everything from your failures. And then it goes from knowledge, from faith to belief to knowledge. And knowledge is when your experiences, your failures. And then from faith to belief to knowledge, and then from knowledge to wisdom. And wisdom gives you the ability to not make the same mistakes as you did before. But when you can execute from your past mistakes, and not only my past mistakes, but others, then what happens is wisdom kicks in and allows you to do the things that you're able to do.
Was there a defining moment in your career that fundamentally changed how you evaluate opportunities and build businesses?
I think what happened is in music and entertainment, real estate, a lot of people aren't really chasing wealth. What they're doing is they're running from the pain of poverty. They're running from the pain of poverty. And so what happens is chaos and opportunity looks the exact same. So you have to be able to see the diamond in the rough in chaotic situations. So I've had some chaotic situations before, and I decided that I would never, go down that road again. And so I started looking at things from a different perspective.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed that interview that we had, guys. If you haven't checked out the Ember Stock interview, definitely that's a thumbnail for it. Look for that one. The whole thing was great, and I like that he's locked in. Like, he has a philosophy behind what he's doing.
He does. And, if you look at that chart today, I mean, it went down 10%, but it was on barely any volume. Like, this guy is not unloading on this. I'm sorry to tell you. I mean, you look at every daily candle where it consolidates or dips, it's barely any volume that bringing it down. So, if he keeps the pedal to the metal and keeps getting out there and explaining what he's all about, the sky's the limit, really.
No, I agree. That's a nice one to that's a nice one to get in now.
Ember, EMBR, Embar Downs.
Embar Downs. And by the way, guys, ticker MAJI, Maggi, we just released a video earlier. Check it out. We go through the whole presentation of the Island 40 group. We had Casey Barksdale on, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot happen with Maggi. It's been a long time coming. The thing went on a major run. They had some dilution going on, but right now we're right at the point of, I think we're at the bottom and we're set to move upward again. But the company is clearly doing a lot. That presentation, I was really impressed with it. I was really impressed with it. I'm actually going to let me see if I could copy this and see if this actually goes in or not. That way you guys could take a look. Oh, no, it's not going to. It's not going to do this for me, really. Were you in Maggi? Are you in that one, or?
I'm not in it right now. No, it's just
waiting.
I don't know what it's going to take there to get ahead.
Yeah. Well,
they gotta do something drastic here, because it's a problem.
No, it is. It is. And I think that this presentation helped me understand more. Casey Barksdale and the Island 40 group, they're like the network of everything. Like, everybody's talking about like the cancer screen and all that stuff. That's like a big catalyst. And I like how he summed it up in the sports analogy, where it's like, you got to go for the singles, doubles, and triples and have those wins. And that's where his business is really going to shine because of all those subsidiaries and stuff. But I'm just going to pop that in. If you guys want, check out that Google Drive link. I created a link for that presentation, so have at it. And if you watch the video, it's in the description too. So that was a nice time to sit down with him. And so I don't know, that's all I got. I think that what a meaty episode, man. We discussed a lot. Seriously.
Covered off a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
And listen, if any of you guys want to hop on so we can put a face to the screen name or what do they call it? The handle, the X handle, hop on, share some due diligence with us.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that.
All right. Well, at least you got a man crush out of this, man. Congratulations. Now Nikolai was great, man. What a great trader, man. I actually got to tell you, I'm actually
sharp guy.
Yeah,
I loved it.
You got to love experienced traders. You learn from those types of people. And but that's all I got. I want to thank you for joining. And this has been a solid hour of due diligence, guys. And like, share the content, subscribe if you haven't. That's it. That's all I got. Kiko, thank you so much.
Always.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.